Well, hello, old friends, and welcome back to the channel. Great news. It's time for Babylon 5. That's right, we'll be watching Season 4, Episode 16, The Exercise of Vital Power. I'm not going to bamf. This is the best show ever. If you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time for Babylon 5 or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now. And what is now? Now it's time for the 16th episode of the 4th season of Babylon 5, The Exercise of Vital Power. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go.
The Liberation Fleet continues to retake territory held in violation of the Earth Alliance Constitution. More ships on the other side continue to defect, carrying stories of atrocities carried out under the direct orders of President Clark.
Nice.
Before he went to Zahadum, he never would have gone up against our own government like this. I don't know, maybe he thinks he's Alexander the Great. That's the part that made me come back here. Mars. I can't believe I'm back on Mars. 3 times before, this place almost killed me. I swore I'd never give it another chance to finish the job.
Yet here you are, with opinions that I don't believe are yours, Mr. Garibaldi.
Want to see the big guy? You gotta play by the big guy's rules.
Was it like a blindfold?
But it's either this, or I put you on the next transport out.
Wade's one of our better bad guys. I will admit that, easy. Like thug level.
You know, at certain times of our lives, we all look stupid, but I think the key is not to mind it.
Ha! I like that line.
The average guy would be very grateful. Wouldn't want to cause Mr. Edgars any more trouble.
I'm not your average guy.
We know that.
I ever tell you I have a master's in literature?
Look at that.
Concepts of language, light, metaphor, nothing is real.
Spoken like somebody that has a master's in literature.
Did you know this place was named after the god of war?
Yeah.
Now there are 2 million people living there.
Really? Okay.
Can't believe I'm back on Mars. I gotta be out of my mind.
That's an interesting turn of phrase. We're being told about the Year of Fire and how great this year's been. How optimistic. We need to find out what's going on with Mike. My money's still on Psy-Corps. I'm probably wrong, but it's definitely EarthGov.
The year is 2261. The place?
Babylon 5. Chills every time. Every single time. Yeah, we need to find out what's going on with Michael big time, because I don't want to say that, we're running out of season, but we are. And I mean, this could be a cliffhanger. There could be some type of resolution that would go over into season 5 perchance. But I think that it's best served staying in season 4, if that makes sense. It'd almost be like splitting the denouement of Garibaldi to another book. Does that make sense again? I don't know. I think I'm getting impatient. I think that's what makes sense. Oh my God, I love those ships.
Warning, respiration decreasing, heartbeat irregular, cerebral activity approaching critical.
Oh, wow.
Any luck, Doc?
Zip. Shadow implants have defense systems on top of defense systems.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's one of the shadows, or the pilots, right?
Well, we know they wanted to use the telepaths for their ships. Guess once they got you, they didn't want to let you go, huh?
Everything has to be isolated off the primary computer systems because when they wake up, they bond instantly to any computer system nearby.
Really?
And the captain, he just keeps bugging me about this every time he calls.
Did he tell you why?
No, he does not tell me why. I mean, these implants are beyond anything I've ever encountered before. And after a while, that really starts to annoy me.
We don't know anybody that's good with robotics either. Like the actual hardware.
I just wish I knew why the captain was in such a hurry about this all of a sudden.
I mean, drawl, maybe.
I can't scan a suspect in a criminal investigation. Zach, you know that. It's a violation of due process.
Relax. It's the victim who wants to be scanned.
To remember, yeah.
If you can pull a visual ID on the guy, we'll have you do a lineup, then we'll take it from there.
Standard commission. Plus 10% stress fee if I have to relive the attack.
Done. Just let me tell him we're coming.
I'm raising my rates because you all are charging me crazy amounts of money for my room. Is she picking something up? Ooh. Guy kind of looks like Barry Pepper, doesn't he? Oh, wow. Oh, may not be good, though.
Peter.
Steven's like, I've got my in. I love that. That almost maniacal look of knowledge being learned. I'm in. I love it. We should have thought of that, shouldn't we? Get Lita down there.
Hello, Lisa.
Michael. You shouldn't have come, not now.
Why?
He asked me to.
Our guest has come a long way on a hard road. I hope the trip wasn't too difficult.
I've had worse.
I'm sure you have.
How do I know that guy? I know I should know him. I don't.
I have to spend at least 6 months a year here or lose half my tax benefits.
Huh?
I said I'd ask you to come when the time was right. You insisted on seeing me now.
I want to know what the hell it is I've been helping you smuggle past B5 customs.
Yeah.
And because somebody's got to stop Sheridan's war against Earth.
I'm just a businessman, Mr. Garibaldi.
Don't play me for stupid.
Is Mike here to set him up or kill him?
You practically bought Senator Claxby's re-election.
Yes, well, that was before President Clark's Night of the Long Knives last year.
Night of the Long Knives. It's like Crystal Knot.
Many of us believed he was behind President Santiago's assassination long before your people leaked anything. He's out of control, he's running scared, he needs to be stopped, but not by a military action. You have to work from inside the system.
But I won't turn him over to Clark either. He'd be dead in a second. Someone like you, in your position, you could intervene on his behalf, get him the proper treatment.
Not to sound totally self-involved, but what's in it for me?
You get to be the hero. It's good for business, good for Earth. And the next guy in office, he's gonna owe you big time. I mean, who knows? You could be the next guy in office.
He's too smart for that.
I won't do anything until I know I can trust you. And I suspect you won't do anything until you know you can trust me. This is gonna be a very interesting weekend, Mr. Garibaldi.
A weekend of trust.
All right, when do I get to see Eggers again?
When he sends for you.
Which is when?
Which is 5 minutes after he sends for me to send for you.
Good answer.
Try not to touch anything.
Touch, 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 touch.
No, this is just take a minute.
Look,
Wait.
I am sorry I messed up your experiment. Whatever.
You didn't mess it up.
For those few seconds, he was conscious and responding without being a danger to himself or to others. I'd like to know how you did it.
I was just looking at him.
I hate her in that badge.
It sounded like the scream a shadow vessel makes when it goes by.
Wow.
Look, can you come back after this other job? I'd like to run some
No,
tests.
I'm
I can pay you.
Please, look.
Pay.
Now, I know you have problems with the Corps, but you should at least try and help them.
I like the guilt trips that Lita had. People buy tickets for her to go on guilt trips all the time. And they expect her to drop everything and come for free to do all this shit. And then they kick her out of her room.
Hey, what the hell? Come on! What the hell's going on? Let me go! Let me go!
Uh-oh.
So who's she? What's she doing here?
I'll give you one guess, Mike.
I have hired her for a surface scan only. She will not probe deeply, will not know the context of our discussion. She will only tell me if you are telling the truth. I want your heart rate fast, your thoughts jumbled, to guard against any blocks or attempts to mislead us.
We know Mike can do that, too.
I don't trust them. Never have, never will.
Why?
I don't like the idea of somebody having the power to get inside my head.
There are safeguards.
What are the safeguards?
Sooner or later, this is gonna get ugly. I just hope I'm not alive to see it happen.
Okay.
When you told me you wanted to help me locate and secure someone, were you telling the truth?
Yes.
And you have a guaranteed means of doing this?
I do.
You said you wanted to know the real reason behind your employment. I've already given you a reason. To keep the pharmaceuticals now under development by my company safe from competitors. Why isn't that a good enough reason?
Because you can get anybody to do that.
You only hire a guy like me if you've got something to hide. It's not your competitors you're worried about. It's your neck if you get caught.
So you assume I'm lying?
Or it's somebody on the inside.
I understand you disappeared from Babylon 5 for some time this past January. Do you know what happened to you?
Would you like to?
And one more thing. Are you still in love with my wife?
What?
It's a very straightforward question, Mr. Garibaldi. Are you still in love with my wife?
I like her.
No, I'm not.
Thank you. You may return to your room now.
Just from her, like, non-vocal reaction shots, I like that very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Constance.
Miss Constance.
Did he say anything about me?
No, it never came up. I think he's put it all behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he'd be a fine addition. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be just fine.
Oh my God, they're gonna kill her? Wow. Well, Miss Constance, R.I.P.
If it works, at least we'll be able to communicate with them.
What about the implants?
Getting those out will take longer. But we can work around the implants, talk to them without them turning violent or uncontrollable.
Yeah, we can get status reports from them, how they're feeling, what they remember.
All right, now remember, take it slow. I need to see what you do at every stage, all right?
I love these two working together. It's so cool.
All right, 15% increase in respiration and heartbeat. Ease up a little, all right? Take them up slow.
Yeah, it's called.
Every time you push telepathically, it slows down the production of acetylcholine.
Is that what's fueling the implants?
Production of brain accelerants, making it work faster. Which is necessary if you've been turned into the central processing center of a shadow.
There it is.
But without control or direction, the brain functions become erratic or distorted. They start casting about, looking for something to do. And when it doesn't find it, it starts tearing itself apart and anything nearby.
That's the rage? Or they're looking for the other tech?
The machines are gone? Yeah. Yes, the shadow vests are gone. They're not gonna hurt you. Then what am I?
Look how dilated his pupils are.
I can't live like this.
Oh, God. Lita, are you holding him?
I can't let you do that.
Oh, my God.
Go to sleep.
Wow, Lita. P5. My ass. I want to know if you had to scale her, she'd be like a P30, you know?
Would you like some orange juice?
I'd like to punch you in the face.
What's this all about?
Do you know how the ancient Greeks defined happiness?
Passion.
3 goats and a jug of wine.
Jesus.
The exercise of vital powers along lines of excellence in a life affording them scope. But what kind of world would we have? What options for happiness would we have in a society run by telepaths? You know, where ordinary humans are considered second-class citizens. Would you like to live in that kind of world, Mr. Garibaldi?
We do.
Come on, look, yeah, even if they tried something, they'd be outnumbered 10,000 to 1.
You're thinking in old terms, the force of arms. But times have changed. We're talking a war of information.
Yeah, they have Clark.
Once they take off those badges, can you tell a telepath from a normal? You want your secrets exposed? Your most private thoughts broadcast for the world to hear?
No, but it can't.
How many people actually belong to the Nazi Party? But there are always plenty of other people who are happy to do the work for them. And others afraid enough to let it happen. Nobody takes power. They're given power by the rest of us. Because we're stupid or afraid or both.
Yeah.
In 1939, the Russians in 1917 and 2013, the Iraqis in 2025, the French in 2112. They handed over power to people they thought could settle scores. Afterwards, like children who have eaten too much candy after dinner, they denied it was their fault. Now it was them. It's always them. Because we're afraid of the aliens and afraid of ourselves.
And now he's giving it to the telepaths.
Clark wants complete and total loyalty. When he was vice president, he instituted loyalty tests. But you can fool a test.
Love that red tint from the light.
President Santiago objected. But he made the mistake of underestimating the opposition. Clark wanted power. He eliminated Santiago with outside help. I don't know the full story. Only that there were aliens involved. He knew they were interested in the Psy-Corps. And if they were interested, then he was interested. They were his insurance policy against the aliens and his means for gaining more power.
How?
He created the Night Watch. Started putting his people into important positions with telepaths alongside for security.
They're telepaths in Night Watch?
If Sheridan tries to force a military showdown, Clark will cut the final ties that hold the Psy-Corps in check. He'll turn it into a military and police force answerable only to him.
Thought police.
Exactly. Once that happens, they'll never let go.
It's over.
There are other ways to fix this.
That virus for the telepaths.
The mega corporations have been running things for years. We just don't show ourselves much. People wouldn't understand. So we let them think they still have a voice.
Oh my God.
Now it's a threat to our business interests, and we'll fix it.
Uh-oh, the bottom line is being threatened.
Sheridan's campaign threatens to disrupt our timetable. He's just making Clark more paranoid by giving him a real enemy.
And the more paranoid he gets, the more power he gives to the Psy-Corps.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were,
I've got some thinking to do.
I'm sure you have.
Mr. Edgars.
Or some non-thinking to do.
It's as close to the truth as you or anyone else will ever get, Mr. Garibaldi. But it should be enough for you to decide if you can trust me the way I now trust you. Once you decide you're in, all the way, I'll tell you the rest. We're gonna change the world, Mr. Garibaldi.
Psy-Corps sent him in because of his lease relationship to take Edgars out once the entire plan is revealed, right? Hell of a plan. That is the long con.
Any more defections and this little war is going to be really one-sided.
Unless they're fake defections.
I just start to worry when things are going too well. Any word from Delenn?
She finished her work on Minbar. She's heading back here.
Not now.
Stephen, it's the captain. Stephen?
It's still not now.
Right. I think I found a way to neutralize the implants for brief periods of time. Look, it's really complicated right now, and I'm trying to keep it all in my head.
When do you think you can get them up and running?
Now, if you want me to do this right, I need to know what this is all about.
Stephen.
I mean it.
All right. I'm encoding this message every 3 seconds, so program your system to keep up.
Come on, hurry up, everybody. Let's go. Go, go, go.
This will be good.
Stephen, I've asked some hard things of you in the past. This may be the hardest of all. I don't think you're going to like it. But we don't have much choice.
Okay. They're not going to tell us. Son of a bitch. Oh, the doc seems really cool with it.
Are you all right?
No.
No. You know, when Sheridan came back from Zahadum, everyone talked about how different he was.
Death will do that.
It's the only way. I just wish the hell that he was wrong. I have a long-term job for you. You available?
Is it pay? Yes.
Start packing. We'll leave in a few days as soon as I take care of everything.
Where are we going?
Mars.
Oh, lovely. Lita and Steven go to Mars.
You know, when I look at you two together, I just can't figure it out. I mean, aside from having more money than God and homes on Mars, Earth, Io, and who knows where else.
She's trying to get her kid back, Mike. I mean.
What does he have that I don't have? Why him instead of me?
Michael.
What is it, the money?
No.
It's the power. She wants her child back.
I don't know all of what's going on, but I know he's putting himself at risk, reaching too far. I don't want anything to happen to him. Or to you. When we were together before, I never knew when I'd see you again or if I'd ever see you again. You marry the job, 24 hours a day, and everybody else is just excess baggage.
I never said that to you.
You didn't have to.
He was kind and he was gentle. And most of all, he was there. If I had called you,
would you have been there?
would you have left Babylon 5 and come back to Mars?
I don't know.
Yes, yes, you do, Mike. You absolutely do.
I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you.
I'm sorry, too.
Well, you really have nothing to be sorry for. By the way, I'd be putting a chair under that door. No more of this bursting in stuff.
We're at a critical stage. Can't afford any mistakes.
Do we know anybody here?
It's a terrible thing to die alone, Wade. We can afford a little human compassion.
Oh.
How long has he been off the drug?
It's 5 days.
Symptoms are occurring faster than before. I know it hurts. Part of the process. I can only tell you it'll be over soon.
Okay, well, great. That makes me feel a lot better. Here's to death. Cheers.
I want him put down.
Shouldn't they finish the test?
We know it works. There's no need to prolong this. Put him down. Put them all down.
Getting some whiffs of Jules Pierre Mal off of Bill Edgar's. Just thought I'd read some scripture after condemning some people to death. I'm that type of good person.
I didn't mean to bother you. I can come back another...
No, it's fine.
You were able to just walk in now, Mike?
I'm in.
Oh, I'm very pleased to hear that.
So, what's the rest?
I'm not in.
You showed me a little of that earlier, and I returned the favor. Now it's your turn again.
A couple more hoops to jump through.
Give me Sheridan. Let me turn him over to President Clark. We need Clark to think he's secure in his position so we can buy some time to get our pieces into place. If we give him Sheridan, he'll drop his guard, and we can do what we have to. Clark's an amateur, not a fool. He'll want to go through the motions of a hearing. We'll move before that happens. You know him better than most people, and you recognize the threat he represents. We have to take him out of the picture. You know it, and I know it.
God, you're telling Psychor this whole thing.
You get to Sheridan through his father.
Nobody knows where he is.
Jesus, dude.
His father has a rare blood disease. Requires he takes regular injections of tenasticin.
That's a Centauri drug. We supply it to a number of hospitals back home. Very rare, very expensive.
You get him, you can get Sheridan.
We still need someone to set him up.
I can do that.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I'm scared for you, Mike. Not because of John. Delenn. Delenn will gut you like a fish, buddy. Make no mistake.
3 times before, this place almost killed me. And now, I've finally finished the job. Maybe we just have to live with it, and get on with it, and do what we have to. Never what we want to.
Great job with the practical lighting.
It has to be done. I hope you can see that someday.
Ha ha ha. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the 16th episode of the 4th season of Babylon 5, The Exercise of Vital Power, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished The Exercise of Vital Power, the 16th episode of the 4th season of Babylon 5. I loved it. I mean, again, anytime I start off a thought section where it seems like I'm going to be like, oh, boo, it doesn't mean anything about me liking the show. It means that I'm just like, the waters are rising, you know? Oh, boy. So, okay, so a couple questions with this one. We didn't really get as much revelation as I was hoping for here with the arrival of Bill Edgar's. It seems like the original theory that we had that Mike was implanted because now it's starting to make a lot more sense. Edgar's has positioned himself to be in direct opposition of telepaths, and Psychor, of course, is going to champion that whole thing. So if Psychor, who we assumed was the people that had, you know, brainwashed Mike and taken him into custody and subjected him to all these things, if they are in fact behind it, which it's looking more and more like, I mean, I'd be shocked if it was anybody but them. It looks like this was exactly what they needed Mike for. It had nothing to do with Sheridan. Really, really nothing to do with Sheridan. It was to get Mike close to Edgar's. That has to be the end goal. And, you know, they're talking about Clark, and Clark's an amateur and things like that. But, you know, and again, we just can't look at it like Clark. We have to look at it like the power structure that is Clark. That could have 100, 200, 1,000 people involved in that actual, like, leadership operation. And somebody inside that group, whether the shadows told them, whether Psychor gleaned it, they had to know that these megacorps that Edgar's had mentioned were calling the shots. Basically, you know, I'm sure monetary policy and all that stuff is dictated by these megacorporations. That's Cyberpunk 101, right? But in this respect, getting getting somebody close to Edgar's was paramount, because Edgar's must be the chairman of the board for this group, if that were the case. He was said to be one of the richest people, if not the richest person, richest person on Mars and all this stuff. So he's definitely wealth-wise way up there. But now if you have somebody that has a relationship with his new wife, what a perfect way to kind of entangle everything. And in addition to that, if you've got somebody like Mike who has a background on Babylon 5, in addition to knowing somebody very, very close to Bill Edgars, his wife, it makes Edgars more intrigued by the idea that if we, his little proposition of having Mike get them Sheridan and hand him off to Clark for a public trial, blah, 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 that Mike becomes the unavoidable hook or unavoidable worm on the end of the hook. You're going to have to take a bite. And with that trap being set that the way that it is, it's looking more and more likely that Psycor's plan is absolutely coming to fruition here. Now, if I were Psycor, and Psycor is in fact the people that are in charge of all of this, you wait until Mike does get Sheridan. Give him a chance. At this point, actually, you know what? I'm going to put a pin in that, because it depends on what they ultimately want to do to Edgars. If it's like blackmail and manipulation, then you don't really need Mike that much anymore. If it's assassination, you certainly need Mike, because he's close to him and you can get him right beside him to shoot him or drug him or do whatever you want. So if it's more on the manipulative side, where if it's more on the Edgars is going to be allowed to remain alive side, then you definitely let Mike try to get Sheridan, because you get two birds with one stone. If you bring Sheridan in, you get that feather in your cap. If you can lay Edgars low with blackmail, threats against his business, he seems to be, like many megacorp, I guess, owners, he's very interested in his bottom line. So, if you start to threaten those types of things, he's going to absolutely react to it. Edgars has more flaws than we are also led to believe. The way he presents himself to Lise and just about everybody else seems very like he's in charge, he's in control of everything, he's got it all on lock, he's very kind of nonchalant about everything. But there was a question inside the interrogation that certainly wasn't in control. Obviously, the question about, do you still love my wife? Well, you ask that question not if you want to trust Michael. You already know the answer to that. You're pretty sure you know the answer that Michael still has feelings for Lise. You ask that question, one, if you have a bit of insecurity amongst yourself, and two, whether or not you can use Lise as something to blackmail Mike if you need to, which that would shift Edgars into a, not like the friendly billionaire. You would is there such a thing? He becomes something entirely more nefarious if you make that switch, where he's willing to put someone he cares about in harm's way or potentially even kill them to get results from somebody under his employ. Or even not necessarily his employee either, just to get results from somebody that might not be willing to give you those things. I mean, the prototypical definition of blackmail. But this shows us way more about Edgars if that is something. I look at that question about Lise, not necessarily for his own ego, maybe a little bit, but at the same time, because, Edgars is older, so there might be some type of, does she still find me attractive? I don't know. He doesn't really kind of spin that type of vibe, but we can't rule it out completely. I think it's more like, can I use Lise against Mike? And that's pretty effed up. The other thing that I find it strange that they didn't mention in all of the exchanges between Mike and Lise, they didn't mention her child, like, oh, Bill said he would help me legally try to, get custody of my child back again. None of that was brought up. Now, the conspiracy theorist in me starts to think that, maybe Edgars had something to do with the father getting full custody over the child, which led Lise into his life. I mean, that's wildly, you would think that he wouldn't have to go through, if you're the friendly billionaire, you don't have to go through all those hoops and steps. But I'm trying to think a couple back to see if maybe this is more of a setup than what we were thinking of. And if that's the case, I mean, it could easily be that Edgars found Lise, found the situation, manipulated the situation, knowing that she used to be involved with Michael Garibaldi, who was in charge of security on Babylon 5, which could lead him to Sheridan for his trick. So there could be two kind of like reverse engineering, two different like paths to this moment, one based on Edgar's plan and one based on Psy-Corps, I'm assuming, plan. Whose is going to be successful? Let me think about it. Psy-Corps? I don't know. Psy-Corps, if this is them, they are established way stronger. And again, if Psy-Corps is involved and they did implant Mike, I mean, obviously he has no idea about, Edgar's has no idea about that. So, I mean, you know, point, game, set, match, whatever to Psy-Corps as it stands right now. I'm going to end with this. Everybody, I've issued my debate on whether or not Michael and John were friends. And I'm certainly willing to say this. I definitely think that they had like a very solid business relationship, you know what I mean? Like a friendly business relationship where, I mean, it's not like John couldn't count on Mike, you know? Mike was always very, you know, Johnny on the spot with the things that he would need to do. And before Zahadum, and before obviously Michael's capture, Mike never really had a major problem with John either. It just, they never seemed close. Does that make sense? I never saw them as like antagonistic. I just never saw them as close. Like, hey, the uniform's off. We're going to go get a beer type of close. I always kind of felt that way. I mean, I felt more of a friendship between, I still do, between John and Franklin, more of a friendship between John and Marcus, more of a friendship between, obviously, between John and Susan is the greatest example of all of that. But I think it's also safe to say that John's not really like friendly outside of everything with the people we just mentioned, outside of Susan. You know, is he friends with Doc Franklin? Probably, but do we see a whole lot of that? Friends with Marcus? Probably. Do we see a whole lot of that? I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. Not sure. So it might be a John problem, and it's certainly not a Mike problem, but I just don't think that there was a connection between those two. And I'm not sure there's a connection between John and anybody outside of Susan and Delenn. You know what I mean? A true connection, a connection that supersedes the idea of rank and file and things like that. So my point with all that being, I'm not sure Mike is going to have to go back to Babylon 5 and literally lay a trap for John. This is not going to be something like, hey, buddy, let's go out and have a beer, and that turns into a kidnapping. None of that's going to work. So Mike going back on station is going to be more of an op than anything else. This is certainly not something that he can utilize a pre-existing relationship with John. That thing has been burned and sundered. I'm not sure. So again, this is going to be really sort of a black ops type of thing. Go in and kidnap John Sheridan and get him back to Mars. I mean, good luck to you. But Mike is super resourceful, and he knows Babylon 5 backward and forward, so who's to say how this is going to turn out? I guess we'll just have to keep watching. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time for the beautiful Babylon 5 or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But all that was then and this is now, my friends, and now, unfortunately, it's time to leave this, the 16th episode of the 4th season of Babylon 5, The Exercise of Vital Power. But where should we leave from, friends? Because as the Greek chorus, we're able to jump back into a scene of our choosing as a reward for continuing the tale that is Babylon 5, a continuation and an exercise that you all have been doing for several decades, and I hope to continue after my journey through Babylon 5 is done. But as our reward, friends, for continuing to expand the audience, we get to jump back into a scene of our choosing. So which scene should we jump back into? This is very interesting. This is we could put us on Mars, put us inside Edgar's sort of compound, put us back on Babylon 5 to observe. I don't know, friends. I'm thinking this. I'm going to put us somewhere decidedly different. I am going to put us in the mental headspace where Lita and the unfortunate prisoners of the shadows seem to exist right now. What are we seeing? What are we learning? Are they still in there? It certainly seems that way, but they are there on a precipice between wanting to exist and wanting to cease to exist. And if Lita goes away to Mars with Doc Franklin, what does that mean for our telepaths? Friends, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Until such time, farewell, old friends, and I'll see you. Bye.